Hello, Tarot viewers. Welcome to our Timeless Oracle reading. And our Oracle card for today is entitled Obsession. It belongs to the Intuitive Life Coaching Oracle by Kelly T. Smith. Okay, when we hear the word obsession, it usually refers to something that preoccupies our attention, preoccupies our mind. It is something that we cannot get out of our mind. So sometimes when we say, oh, I am totally obsessed with this person, you cannot get this person out of your mind. It's like everywhere you go, you keep thinking of the person. Every face that you see the face of the person. It's the same thing also with certain things. For example, there is a certain situation that you couldn't get out of your mind. You feel obsessed by the situation, and it troubles you. Sometimes the challenge that you face when you become obsessed with something is that it preoccupies your attention, that you couldn't concentrate on doing any other thing. If you are about to do other activities, this, whatever it is, a situation or a person, it keeps on bothering you, it keeps on coming into your mind, no? And the message here is, it is time to get out of your head and back into your heart. I think, yes, there is a certain wisdom in that. Because obsession is something that keeps on going back in your mind. It dominates your attention. It keeps on going back into your mind, keeps on taking your attention. In a certain sense, it's letting go of it and going back into your heart, surrendering it to the divine, somehow helps us. In a certain sense, maybe the virtue of humility also helps us, because somehow when there is that obsession, it's as if we are have a tendency to rely more on our capacity to handle things. We rely more on our ego. When we realize that there may be oftentimes the reason why we feel obsessed on something is because we want to handle the situation, but at this present moment you cannot address it, you cannot do anything about it, and so it keeps on coming back on your mind. The helplessness of not being able to address something somehow is the reason why they keep on going back and forth into our mind. So there should somehow, I feel, one of the solutions in order to overcome certain moments wherein we become obsessed of a certain situation or a certain person is to have the humility that we cannot handle everything, that somehow we have certain limitations also, that we need also the help of the divine, the help of the universe, in order to address certain things in our life. The need for us to have that humility to accept that I can only do so much. And I guess that is the secret in order for us to avoid this crippling situation of being obsessed. It's when very something very pressing, or something that we feel is vital in our present situation, the only thing that we can do is to give our best in addressing it. And after we've done our part, it's time for us to let go. It's time for us to kneel down in prayer and to say to the divine, Lord, I have done everything in order to address this situation or this relationship, or in order to address this attention towards a certain person. Lord, I have done what everything that I have done. I've done everything that I feel I could do. Now I entrust everything to you. Please take care of this situation. So it's like that. You do your best. After you've done everything, you entrust everything to the divine. The term letting go and letting God, I think, is very important in situations where we discover that we become already obsessed with something or a situation. So it's learning to let go. It's at that moment when you Ask for that extraordinary grace wherein you tell the divine, I've done everything that I can do, and still it's still there, it's still bothering me. Could you please take it away from my hands? I entrust them all to you. Please fill up what is lacking. And then forget about it. That's the final step. uh, Sister Faustina, the saint in the Catholic faith, often say, when you are troubled by something and you've done everything that you can do, it's time for you to go into prayer and to entrust everything to the divine and ask the divine to give you that extraordinary grace. And in the short prayer, you only have to say, Lord, I've done everything that I can do, and still I couldn't solve it. I entrust it all into your hands now. Please take good care of it. And then she says, forget about it. Don't think about it anymore. Do other things, and it will solve itself. The divine will take care of everything. So there is that sense of abandonment, that sense of trust, that sense of faith that the universe always has our back, that the universe will always help us, will always provide for our needs, and that the universe will always solve our problem. We just do our part, we give it our best, and that entrust the rest to the divine. And oftentimes, yes, we need to let go. When you let go of things also, when you detach yourself from the results of whatever you've done, the important thing is you've done your part. When you detach yourself from it, sometimes that is the only thing that you need to do in order to get a better perspective of the situation. Because once you detach yourself from it, you are able to distance yourself from that situation, and oftentimes you get to see the big picture, and sometimes the solution is just hidden, but oftentimes you miss it because you get lost in the forest of preoccupations. We need to be like eagles also. We need to distance ourselves from the forest so that we can get the big picture. So this is what I can see in the reflection with regards to obsession. Now let us try to read from the handbook that accompanies this card, and maybe we can gain more insight. So it says here, obsession. It is time to get out of your head and back into your heart. This card shows up today to tell you that a situation, problem, or concern is rapidly consuming you, your every thought, feeling, and emotion. You are overthinking your circumstances, and there could be some paranoia involved. Rather than continuing to play out the war, the worst case scenario over and over again, take a step back, calling in your angels and guides to assist you. No amount of worrying or obsessing is going to make this situation better. In fact, it will only make it worse. Find a way to think about something else. Do something that will help to distract you. Go for a walk, take a nap, or read an inspirational book. This obsession is creating a very stressful situation for you, and if you can find a way to let go, you will be able to see the solution to this problem or concern. The situation is not as hopeless as you think it is. It is time to get out of your head and back into your heart. Trust that all will be well, and it will be. Intuitive life coaching questions. In what ways are you overthinking your current situation? Are the circumstances as critical as they seem, or are extreme emotions getting in the way? What do you need to do to take your mind off of this so that you can find some clarity? Well, that's it for today. I hope you were able to gain some insights, because there are really moments in our life when we become preoccupied with certain things that they really, really take all our attention and our efforts and our energies. So I hope this somehow has given you some insights, maybe some answers to certain questions, some aha moments. Okay. And thank you for the likes and comments that you have given to the channel. Thank you for subscribing. If you feel this video will help somebody, don't hesitate to share it with them. I look forward to seeing you again next time. Until that moment, may God continue to bless your ways.